Hey everybody, welcome to our YouTube channel on VectorVest and our weekly stream, Trending Thursday. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. Always glad to be here. Always glad to have you YouTubers here supporting VV Nation. If you can hear me loud and clear, by all means, please respond in the affirmative, preferably with VV Nation hashtag. VV Nation to let me know that you are hearing me loud and clear. I'm going to start to get this streaming on social media. You got to use now hashtag VV Nation. Let me know that I'm coming across loud and clear. Today we have a special guest. I'm not going to tell you who it is yet, but he's a great friend of mine here at VectorVest. He's going to talk to you about some things that I think VV Nation needs to hear about, all right? And for all of you who are brand new, thank you for being here, and hopefully I get you to subscribe to the channel. If you like what you see here, especially if you find it useful, don't forget to hit the like button. The more we can get the like button hit, the more YouTube will share this content with people out there in YouTube land. All right, and that's also important. And if you can and you feel compelled to, please share this link in your social circles. I just also tweeted it on my Twitter account. If you're interested in following me on Twitter, go search for @Glenn Tompkins Jr. with two N's. @Glenn Tompkins Jr. On Twitter. I put a lot of content dealing with the VectorVest software on our channel. All right, what do we do every day? Every Thursday, what do? We always start off by what's going on in the market. You'll notice the market's been down now for 3 days in a row. A lot of it tends to deal with what's going on with the Fed. Because within the Fed is looking at things about tapering by the end of the year. Guess what, folks? You can't get away from it. It's going to happen, all right? They're looking at raising interest rates next year. Guess what? It ain't going to not happen. So these are the things that you got to keep in mind. And right now, the more pressing issue is looking at the debt ceiling. What are they going to do? And I put a couple of polls out on the YouTube channel. I'll pull that over. I'll put a couple of polls on the YouTube channel for you guys to take a look at. I put a lot of polls out there. Joey put some polls. By the way, my right-hand guy, Joey, is here in the background. He's my producer. Say hi, Joey.
Hi, Joey.
All right, so he's the guy behind the scenes to make things look good. He helps me to look good, which is not a big job on his hands. He just needs to push some buttons, and I do all the work. Right, Joey?
Full-time job.
There you go. So with that, on our YouTube channel, you know we do Trending Thursday, and we do have polls up there. I want to get to interact with you guys a little bit more. Want to get to accurate. So go look at those polls. Tell me what you think, and I will respond. All right, let's get into what's going on in the market right now. And let's go to open up the VectorVest software. We'll do that right now to see what's going on. All of the major indices, well, how about that? All of the major indices were down today. Now we're mixed. The NASDAQ is up about 0.25%. So it looks like tech stocks are rebounding a little bit today. It did that yesterday as well. All right, so keeping that in mind, the tech stocks are rocking and rolling, or trying to rock without rolling. But I'm looking at our advanced to decliners. We've still got more stocks out of the over 9,000 stocks that we track, still moving down compared to going up, but not a lot. Almost dead even for the day. The market's in a little bit of a flux because of the debt ceiling information. We'll see how that all pans out. Looking at our color guard, which is our traffic light into the market. If you're a VectorVest subscriber, let me back this up a little bit. If you're a VectorVest subscriber, a few days ago, we were telling you to be cautious in the market. Prior to the market starting to move down, you'll hear me say a lot. As a VectorVest subscriber, you should never be blindsided by the market. Look at all of this yellow. When you get to a yellow light, what do? Slow down. Then some red starts popping in. As all of that yellow is going in, what do? You tend to tighten your stops, or you look at your market timing. However you do to manage your stocks, it's all right here within the VectorVest system to help you to make the right decisions at the right time. So I can see what stocks are moving right here on the home page, what industries are moving, what sectors are moving. I've also got a list of our top VST stocks, what's moving as well. Nice stock today moving up. ARCB up over 6% today, pushing 6.5%. But all of this information that you see is right here on the homepage of the VectorVest system. And guess what? If you want access to this kind of data every day, we offer our YouTubers 99 cents for 30 days to get this kind of access. All right, that's all the selling I'm going to do in regards to that. So far, again, if you like what you see, don't forget to hit the like button. If you're brand new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. All right, so see that everybody can hear me. Everything is good to go. Let's talk about what news is moving the market in the direction of which it is. I'm going to move over to our webpage. Where did it go?
You need to go down here.
Okay. Yep, there we go. Thank you. This is why I got Joey. Joey's the guy. Joey's the guy that helps me out. Thank you, Joey. Yeah. All right, so first news. I always want to look at what's going on specifically with the Fed, because they've got a big job in doing three things. They want to look at interest, they want to look at inflation, they want to look at jobs. So when I look at what's going on with the Fed officials see transitory, they keep using that word. Transitory inflation lasting quite a while. What's going on. So from that perspective, as I look at it, I've been saying for the longest time here on Trending Thursday, it ain't so transitory. Inflation is inflation. Prices are going higher, and that is it. Goods are increasing. Inflation is an issue and will remain an issue until the Fed does something about it. How does the Fed fix it? They're going to start to have to raise interest rates. That's how that happens. Good job there. They're going to have to start to raise interest rates, and that's going to happen. When I sit here and say that it's going to happen, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's going to happen. All right, so that's my first story. I'm going to move over to my next story. U.S. economy is expected to pick up speed after Delta-driven downturn. This is the other side of the coin. I'm not sure that that's the case, because even after we can hopefully get the Delta variant under control, we're still going to be in the same spot with inflation, with jobs. I saw the jobs number this week, came out this morning. It was much higher than expected. A lot of people are looking for jobs. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that as well. Folks, I'm here to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And these are the things that are going to affect how you invest in the market and your ability to make money in the market or not. All right, so then my next story on top of that is, how about this? 2 Fed officials signal support for starting the bond buying taper. Again, it's going to happen, and it's already been brought to the forefront that it's going to be happening by the end of the year and finishing off by sometime in the summer of next year. What does that mean for you? As they start tapering on bond buying, in order for people to start to buy the debt or the bonds, they're going to have to raise the yields on it to make it more attractive for people to buy. Once that happens, people are going to start pulling their money out of the stock market, pushing the stock market lower. All right? Inflation is going to come into the issue, and they're going to have to use the raising of the interest rate. That's going to affect the market. And then the third part of the whole puzzle is that as this all happens, what is the driver of the market? Earnings. As long as companies meet or exceed their earnings expectations and grow, the market's going to stay in a bull market. But when all of these other things behind the scenes, really not so behind the scenes, happen, that's going to affect earnings. And once that happens, that's when we'll be in a bear market. So for all of you who are not subscribers to the VectorVest software, what are we in right now? We're still in a bull market, but what we're experiencing right now is a pullback based on a lot of news that's out there. All right, now with all of that being said, let me get into the VectorVest system back again, and let's go to my watch list, go to the viewers, and every week we have a watch list of the stocks that we look at on Trending Thursday. I'm going to go to the watch list viewer. I'm going to go find YouTube Trending Thursday, and let's go find the one that I have set up for today, which is 9/30/21. There we go. All right, so here's the stocks that we'll be looking at today. It's a watch list of about 14 stocks. The beautiful thing about our watch lists is that when I put stocks into our watch list, they're automatically set up by our master indicator VST. So no matter what stocks we're looking at, I can always see which stocks have the best combination of value, safety, and timing. They will come to the top of the list, and the stocks that have the worst combination of the three will show up at the bottom of the list. Well, wait a minute, Glenn, why are you talking about Beyond? It's a sell and it's at the bottom of the list. You'll understand that because this is one of my stocks of interest that we'll talk about today. The two stocks that we look at for looking at the market, for those of you who are not subscribers to the VectorVest software, we look at the S&P 500. Why? Because most people use that as a benchmark to determine whether they're outpacing the S&P or not in regards to their portfolios. For those of you who are subscribers to the software, we use the VVC, also known as the VectorVest Composite. This indicator tracks the move now of over 9,000 stocks, and we feel that it is a better representation of the broad market move. So I try to accommodate those who are subscribers and those who are not as well. Let's go look at the graphs of these two. So we already talked about what's going on in the market, why the market is doing what it's doing. I'm looking at a 3-month view of the S&P off of the high, which occurred on 9/2. Look at the pullback. Does it have some downside? Yes. I've got a level of support right now at 428.19. Guess what? The VectorVest software already calculated that level of support for me. I didn't have to do it. So with today's activity, with today's activity, a down day, look at the wick at the bottom of the candle, though. That shows me that the bulls are trying to push the market higher. So the bulls are trying to get some stranglehold. Remember, earnings are still good overall. The market's still in a bull market. And even on pullbacks like this, look at the rambunctious. Ooh, my guest, are you smiling at that? That's a good word, right? Just shake your head because I can see you. That's a good word. Yes, that's a great word. Todd, Joey thinks the same thing, right, Joey? That's right. That's a great word. A rambunctious move on the S&P today, but still a down day overall. The 3 and the 8 on the spiders, huh? The 3 and the 8 on the spiders is also bearish at this time, but I do have a level of support sitting at 428.19. And then on the VectorVest Composite, the last 3 days, the market has been down. The 3 and the 8 there, I've got a level of support on the composite at $66.78. Look at the wick at the bottom of this candle as well. A lot more bullish pressure pushing up to the upside. The buyers are still trying to get in. Inner says rambunctious. Laugh out loud. That's a great word. I came up with that on the fly all by myself because I'm a big boy. I'm a big boy now. Anyway, but the 3 and the 8 on the market is still bearish. Keep that in mind. What do you do during these times? You tighten the stops on the stocks that you have. You do not panic sell, folks. Use the stops to manage the trades that you're in. That's the biggest thing that you can do. Never let them see you sweat, and never invest on emotion. All right, so keeping all of that in mind, anybody have any questions in regards to what's going on in the market? As I drink from my Michigan cup today, my Cafe Bustelo. Thank you very much for, what was that, a subscription to the channel, subscriber to the channel? Yes, subscriber. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. A little emote will pop up every time you do as our way of saying thank you publicly right here on Trending Thursday. So thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Bill Young did that? Thank you, Bill. I appreciate you supporting the VV Nation, my friend. Buy puts and watch your risk, says New Jersey Chelsea Football Club. Are you in New Jersey? I like that. At the end, New Jersey, I will give you an opportunity to look at individual stocks. I like the idea of buying puts to hedge your portfolio. Am I ready to say that the market's in a full free fall right now? Not yet. Not yet, but I would not be against hedging your portfolio. Why don't you use the SPX for S&P? It's just a choice. It's my choice, Chris. I could use either or, but I think most people look at the SPY as a market gauge against their portfolios. Rambunctious, uncontrollable, exuberant, boisterous. Thank you, Robert. Is this a private list? When you say a private list,
I think he was talking about the VDC and SP?
When you say a private list run, the VectorVest composite, again, tracks the movement of over 9,000 stocks that are out there. So we have them in our software. When I look at the S&P, it's 500 stocks that are some of the best stocks in the market in that one list. So that's the way I look at it. VU took over SPY. I ain't never heard that. Don't know what that is. So I got to look into that. It's SPY or SPX. Both of them are what we use to track the S&P 500. Any other questions that we have right now? Oh, is this on Facebook? That's right, we are doing. So there we go. Chris is on Facebook. Thank you for chiming in as well. Can we make that smaller? You made it.
It's like this.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so I forgot we are dual streaming. That is something new for us. So I want to say hello to all my peeps on Facebook as well. So we're doing both Facebook and YouTube. I'm a member of VectorVest, very technical, which is good for me. Way to go. I got you. I'm all for you. I'm all for you. All right. If there's no more questions on the market, let's do the hot stocks that we pick out every night. Those are cherry picked for you. When we do the daily color guard report, which I have this week, all the hot stocks that we present for you are dependent upon what the day is done. If the day is bullish, we're going to give you bullish hot picks. If the day is bearish, we're going to give you contra ETFs. So those are stocks or ETFs that we pick out for you. I get confused when you say to tighten your stops, whereas the VectorVest staff says let your stops take you out and puts as a hedge. All right, that's a great question. It all depends on how you invest in the market. I am of the mindset I'm a little bit more of a swing trader or shorter term investor, so I will tighten my stops. For those people who are longer term investors, you never know. Let your stops manage the trade. So it all depends on if you're long term or a swing trader or a trader. I will adjust my stops on the fly to get me out of those more aggressive picks a little quicker. If you're a longer term investor or you have a plan in place, which we'll talk about with our guests, then let your stops manage the trades. Now, the difference between the two, one is systematic and one is a little bit on the fly based upon what's going on in the market. All right. So, Richard, hopefully that answers your question. With that, there you go. I got another subscription to the channel. Thank you very much for that. Liddy sent me a social media. Where are you, Liddy? Liddy, glad to see you are here. Was going to message you about it. Liddy, are you here? I'm not. But Liddy sent me something by way of social media, which I pointed them to our navigational series and let me know that they loved it. It is part of your subscription with the VectorVest software where I take you through each and every tab of the software. All right. With that, I'm going to bring on my guest. Every so often on Trending Thursday, I like to incorporate a lot of the other educators in this department to let you know what they do and what they have going on. My guest this week happens to be one of my best friends here at VectorVest. He was actually one of my groomsmen in my wedding. We've been out on the road a lot teaching the VectorVest software. We've got great banter between us. And we look at the software the same way, but in a different way. He's very analytical about what he does, whereas I'm a little bit more shoot from the hip type of a deal. But you put us both together, and it makes for a great presentation when we are out and about on the road. The person I'm talking about today is Todd Schaefer, who is the manager of, what are you the manager of, Todd?
I'm the manager of research.
Research. He does a whole bunch of the research behind the software. He spends a lot of time in his office trying to put together systems and how we can best utilize the software, especially for brand new people. So we sit right across the hall from each other. This morning, probably about an hour ago, he did a session that he's going to talk about today with his clients as well. And it's teaching people all about the Successful Investor course, teaching people how to become more successful investors. So for all of you who know Todd, put a VV Nation out there for him as a way of clapping for him. or most of all, if you can, hit the like button. Hit the like button on YouTube to let him know that you guys are all for him. And he told me to say that if you are here, all right, that if you are here, that you better like what he has to say. That's what he said. So I'm just putting that out there. Everybody can see him right now, so he's smiling. A great friend of mine, but he's going to talk to you about how to become a better or more of a successful investor utilizing the VectorVest software. So with that, Todd, let him know a little bit more than what I said about what you do and why you're here today.
Well, it's true that we have known each other for quite a while now. We used to actually be office mates. So if you can imagine, Glenn and I sitting, elbow to elbow.
Poor Todd. But it was actually two big dudes sitting in an office. And we used to, yeah.
He had this endearing quality,
yes,
where I had to be looking at him while he spoke. We couldn't just couldn't have a conversation in the room.
I would turn him around.
At him. So he would turn me around physically to make sure that we were making eye contact. So yeah, we were each other's alter ego. We're a good team. And I've learned long ago to just let Glenn do what Glenn does, because he gets in his groove. He gets in his thing. In fact, I was laughing, we were talking about the Fed using the term transitory. My favorite movie, Princess Bride. You keep on using that word. I do not think it means what
I do not think you know what that word means.
So I was chuckling as you were doing that. As I, by the way, sit here with my Cafe Dunkin'.
No. It should be Cafe Bustelo. You're drinking the wrong coffee, bro. But I got my Michigan cup today.
That's all right. We won't go into that, right? I make the frugal choice. How about that?
All
right. So what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about successful investor?
Yeah. Tell them what successful investor is all about.
Well, successful investor is all about kind of bringing it back to the basics, right? So we have a lot of folks who are either new to the program or new to investing, or maybe are not new investors, but they just haven't been consistently successful investors. So we wanted a vehicle that would help us pull it back to kind of the basics, make sure we establish the fundamentals of successful investing, and then from that basis, kind of branch out if you want to do something more aggressive, right? Shorter time frames, those kinds of things. You're free to do that, because there are a gazillion ways to make money in the markets. But we found that people who are struggling or bouncing from one thing to the next, never finding any success wherever they land because they don't stay there long enough to find success, we wanted to have a way to get people introduced to both the system and to investing, and to do it consistently over time. And that's key, is consistency over time. We all can have our hot runs, but you need to be able to do that and retain your gains over time. So that's where the Successful Investor course comes in. And if you're familiar with VectorVest already, there is a quick start course that we developed along these lines. It's in the program on the training tab. But we found that the devil's in the details, right? So we took that quick start course and expanded it into a much more developed, more detailed course offering that we do over, I think it's about 6 weeks, called the Successful Investor course. And so we take each of the sections from the quick start course and do an hour-long presentation and a coaching session on just that one topic. For instance, stop losses, or market timing, or stock selection. And all of it's taken from that perspective of a position trade, a longer time horizon, and the elements that make up any successful trading system. Not only the when to buy, what to buy, and when to sell, but also how you do that, how you manage risk, and limit that, because ultimately you have to be able to limit and control risk to find long-term success. So that's what we do in the coursework and in the coaching sessions on a weekly basis.
All right, a question came up is this course embedded in the VectorVest monthly subscription? And the answer to that, NJ, is no. It is a paid course. Todd will talk a little bit about that next week. But I'm going to put you in touch with being able to watch his webcast, his free webcast next week. Now,
Yeah,
next
so,
question.
hey, Glenn, let me pepper in on that.
Sure.
Because the Quick Start course is embedded in the program. And so that can kind of give you the 30,000 foot view.
Okay.
The paid course is the paid course simply because it goes into more detail and then has mastery sessions behind it. So that course is on an evergreen basis available to you all the time. You do have an opportunity coming up though next week, as Brian or as
Yeah,
Glenn
I look
is saying.
just like Brian.
Brian and
We
I are
look just
doing a
alike.
webinar to launch another live version of the course where the mastery session support is live. And so a lot of folks like the timeliness of that live support. And so the opportunity is coming. Kind of the preview of that is coming up next week. And then the live course itself starts, I think, 3rd or 4th week of October. So it's coming. It's only offered at most once a quarter. So this would be a great opportunity if you'd like some help in that regard.
Just to let you know. Oh, Felix on Facebook says, nice to see your face. They've been in your previous classes. So this is a good opportunity for people who have heard you in the past to actually get to see you. So thank you for that, Felix. I appreciate that.
Well, thanks, Felix. And it's the only one I have. So we'll just lay it out on the table right there.
There you go. All right. So I've got a question for you. When it comes down to the successful investor, what are some of the things that people do wrong when investing in the market?
Well, there's kind of two thoughts come to my mind as you ask the question. First of all, you kind of alluded to it earlier in your conversation based on someone's question of we all come to investing with different objectives, different time frames, different sensitivities to how much of a gain is good enough, how much of a loss is too much, right? So all of that colors your approach to the markets. And so people who come to VectorVest for the first time are often confused a little bit because we're chewing gum and talking at the same time here, right? So there are different approaches. And so my approach is a very prudent to conservative approach. Glenn's approach is a more trading approach, right? So if you're in the swing trading course, you're going to see different mechanics of any trading system. One of the things that we try to do in the Successful Investor course is identify for you what those triggers are. So we talk about stops and their usage. We talk about managing risk on a trade. Those functions happen whether you're a day trader or whether you're a buy and hold investor. Right? So once you understand the components that make up any trading system, then it's just a matter of changing the variables in combination. So the other thing that I'm drawn to is probably the biggest mistake that we see folks who are coming to VectorVest for the first time is that they buy stocks any old time. Particularly any day that's an up day.
And that's a huge mistake.
Yeah. So you get a 2% sell-off and the next day is a bounce day. And so we buy stocks on the bounce day, even though we've been in downtrend for 2 weeks. Right. So that's probably the biggest mistake that I see folks making.
All right. So the next thing I see is people in the room who have taken your course, advocating for your course. I like that. The VV Nation will talk to people who are out there who are not subscribers to the software. It's great for you and I to tote the company line, but it's also, I think it's more impressive when subscribers to the VectorVest software talk about their experiences. And I think it plays a big role in people who are not subscribers to understand that there are successful people out there utilizing the VectorVest software and in your course and what you teach. So I've got one other question for you.
Well, I was going to say in response to that,
okay,
is of course I believe in it, otherwise I wouldn't be teaching it, right? So the payback for most of us in the education department is this sense of kind of paying it forward, right? Helping other people because we sat in the same seat where you are now. So we don't pretend to have all the answers, but we do have a system that works and we know how to make it work. And so we are anxious to teach that to other folks. And not that you have to carbon copy us, but one of the big things that I try to do, and I really see the Successful Investor as kind of a beginning level course to make sure that you have all those fundamentals of blocking and tackling in line, in order, right? So from that perspective, we want to make sure that we get you set up for success over the long haul.
All right, I got one other question, and this is probably hot and heavy on the minds of everybody who's investing in the market, okay? What are your thoughts in what you teach in the course on helping people to identify when to buy, hold, or sell?
Well, it's an extension of the VectorVest philosophy, right? So if you think about broadly, when would you like to be buying stocks? Well, you'd like to be buying stocks when the economy is doing well, the market's rising, and the stock that you want to buy is rising too. And if that company happens to be making money and making more and more money, or has prospects of making more and more money, so much the better, right? So we have all these touch points where we can put the probabilities of success in our favor. One of the things that sucks people in, and it kind of goes to this idea of you bought stocks on the bounce day because it was up, and it was up sharply, even though it was lower, on a 2-week basis. Kind of the same idea of, instead of chasing the news stories, does the Fed, well, the Fed's probably a bad example, but did the Congress pass Bill X? Did some news event happen? Did some CEO get taken away in handcuffs? All that kind of stuff, right? News-driven investing is not really where we want to be. There are opportunities there, to be sure, if you're a short-term trader. But if you're an investor, we're more interested in the long-term movements of both the market and the stocks that are operating in that market and that economy. So turn down the volume on the talking heads on TV, right? Stop chasing the media and instead use the VectorVest system to analyze what's actually happening, because it's what's actually happening that matters to us in the long haul. Yes, you may have a down day because there's a bad news headline that comes out, but you know what? Tomorrow bounces again, and so now where are you? Well, you have to take that longer term view, and that plays right into the VectorVest system, and particularly of when to buy. You've got a system that has a series of market timing signals, both from short term to longer term, that you can utilize to identify when the market is rising. It's not that we're making a promise about what it's going to do tomorrow, because I can't promise you that, but I can tell you that it has been rising in this time frame, right? And the longer the time frame, the more likely it is that it's going to continue. And you can see that empirically. So that's the question, is which of the market timing signals in the VectorVest system do you want to adopt as the one that reliably indicates for you future market movement? And then play those odds, because you can't know. So give up about knowing. It's not a question of knowing. It's a question about what are the probabilities, and can you get on the right side of those probabilities?
Excellent. So I love that answer. Robert on Facebook says, I have a hard time of deciding when to sell on this downturn. I tend to want to add and buy like this is a dip, but I worry about all these other things, the Fed, inflation driving where the money is moving. So one of the biggest things that Todd will teach, or any of us here in the education department, you don't want a dollar cost average down. If you like a stock and the stock is going down and you get stopped out of it, wait for a better buying opportunity, because you never know how low is. And a lot of times when we don't adhere to that information, we tend to take big losses in the stock. If the stock is not doing what you want it to do when you first bought it, you need to reconsider owning the stock. That's it. The stock could still be a great stock. Just wait for a better buying opportunity. So I like that, Robert. Todd, what do you want to add to that?
Well, I'd say it's an exercise of lining up the probabilities. So the probability of your stock going up is higher when the stock has stopped falling, right? So instead of catching the falling knife, wait for the knife to stick in the ground or bounce and then pick it up.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, so now the question is, let's fall back and say, okay, well, that stock bouncing and continuing higher is more likely if the market itself has stopped falling and starts rising. Now how aggressively do you want to get in? Do you want to wait for, I have a candlestick formation over 1 or 2 bars? Do I want to see it put in a higher high and a higher low? Do I want to see it cross above a 40-day moving average, or, whatever signal you have? That signal, the rules that you adopt, first of all, are rules, right? You're not just doing this on the fly. You have a set of conditions that have to be met that indicate what you want to be happening is happening. The more aggressive that you try to get into the faster you get in after the turn, the more risk you take that it's a dead cat bounce, a false move that's going to actually move to the lower low. So the second, well, maybe the third or fourth piece of this now is when you take that position on the bounce, buying the dip on the bounce, which is acceptable in the VectorVest scheme of things, the stop loss becomes really important, right? How am I going to define, first of all, failure of what I think is the new price trend? And secondly, how much money am I going to put at risk in that trade if it does fall and hit my stop loss, right? Because if you put on that stop loss and put half of your portfolio at risk, you're going to get scuttled in 2 trades, right? You have to manage the risk side of it, even with the perfect setup, because all the perfect setups are perfect until they aren't. Right? So that's my take.
All right. So, again, for all of you so far who have heard what Todd has to say in regards to becoming a better or more successful investor, hit the like button, folks. Hit the like button. I love the information that Todd brought today. I love his way of explaining things. It puts it into an easier way to make things a little simple when investing in the market. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. He's got a couple of webcasts coming up next week. He's got 3, actually. The first one is going to be on October 6th. I don't remember what time it is, Joey. Nonetheless, Joey's going to put a link in there for you for the webcast. It is a free webcast that walks you a lot more through what he talked about today. All right. And the biggest thing is, I got to push out there, it's free. All right. You want to learn a little bit more about what Todd talked about today. You see the statement
And I'm
up
worth
there?
every cent, by the way.
Say again?
I'm worth every cent.
Well, he's worth half of it at least. You see what it says on the screen? How to consistently make 15% a year. That is just not a fly-by-night number. All right? If this is something that you're interested in, it behooves you to at least take a look at that webcast that he's going to be doing. I would like everybody here on our VV Nation YouTube to go support that. Listen to what he's got to say, and it may pique your interest.
12 o'clock.
It's 12 o'clock. Thank you. It's on 12 o'clock on October 6th, and then October 7th, he's got 2 more webcasts. All right. There you go. He's got 2 more webcasts on the 7th, so he's going to do 3 altogether, and he's going to talk a lot more about how to grow your portfolio 15% a year by becoming a successful investor. With that, Todd, I'd like to say thank you for being here. Folks, hit the like button if you haven't already. And for those of you who find this useful, this is what we do every week on Trending Thursday, whether it's with a guest or without a guest. If you like the content that you see so far, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, so that when I have a special guest like Todd here today, you will be alerted. So I'm looking forward to you guys hitting the subscribe button. I'm looking forward to you guys learning more about what Todd teaches. And he does this course. What did you say, how often?
About once every quarter.
Once a quarter. So about 4 times a year, you get the opportunity to attend this course. It's 12 Central or Eastern. Robert asks, it's 12 Eastern time. It's 12 Eastern time. All right. And Todd does a great job of what he does. If, again, you hear him now, this is the same way he is on his webcast. So with that, Todd, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you, VV Nation, for supporting him. I appreciate that as well. I don't see the likes today, and that's all right. I'm sure that they're up there. Before you go, Todd, thank you. I love you like a brother. He sits right across from me, so I can yell at him through my door just like I can Todd, just like I can Patrick. He sits right next to me. So we all just yell at each other, and it's awesome. And people on YouTube and Facebook are saying that it was awesome to actually put a face behind the voice. And you know me. I'm all about whenever you got something going on and you want to talk, I'll bring you on Trending Thursday anytime you want, my friend. I got you. All right. I want to support everybody in the education department. So you got anything else you want to say? What?
Nope, appreciate it. I think
Jay said Todd is
my
much
peach tea, and I'm
funnier
gonna
than
get a
Glenn.
umbrella drink.
I'm going to put Jay in timeout. He said I'm much funnier, that you're much funnier than me. That's crazy. All right. Go ahead. Say what you were going to say. I apologize.
Oh, I was just saying I'm on the beach scene here, so I'm going to go look for a little umbrella drink, I think.
Oh, can you bring me one?
For a price.
Oh, for a price. Well, whatever. All right, Todd. Thanks a lot, my friend. Adios, arrivederci. And until the next time I have you on, be good and teach these people how to make some money.
Will do. Take care. Thanks for having me.
You got it, man. Todd doesn't sing. No, Jay. Todd doesn't. That was Robert. Robert says, does Todd sing? Todd doesn't sing. All right. So now, I'm glad that Todd was here. For those of you who feel compelled, please, by all means, please go support Todd on that webcast that he's doing next week. He's got 3 of them, and he's really good at what he does. And that statement of how to consistently make 15% a year is real. That is real. All right. With that, let's get on to our next story. The next story I'm going to get into is going to be Covet Stocks. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world of Covet Stocks. Start with Pfizer. Pfizer, as you know, is one of the 2 that are out there that have been approved by the FDA. Well, only one approved by the FDA. Moderna is out there going to put in, if they haven't already, their application to get FDA approval. But Pfizer's the only one that's been FDA approved. There's going to be a lot of talk about whether or not we need to do boosters, not to do boosters. And boosters were now approved. But now, how about this? Pfizer begins a study of an oral drug for prevention of COVID-19. There's a lot of people out there who don't like to take shots. This could be a good move, and maybe more people will take the drug for COVID-19. Now, no matter where you sit on what side of the fence you sit on whether or not vaccines should be given or not given is not something that I'm going to have on this platform. But I will talk about the stock's ability to make or not make money. And with everything that Pfizer is doing, being the first to be FDA approved, I still got belief in this stock long term that it should do well. Now, how about this? The latest Pfizer tests COVID pill as a preventive medicine. So this is another article on the oral medicine or the oral vaccine for Pfizer. So there's a couple of different stories. The drug maker on Monday said it will study a pill it's developing in combination with low dose of the HIV drug Remdesivir in people who are at least 18 years old and live in the same household with someone who's infected. Interesting that they're putting the HIV drug in there. It's really interesting how other drugs that were slated for specific diseases have effects on other diseases as well. All right. So we'll keep that in mind. Now, 2 stocks that have been rocking and rolling in the COVID space. One of them is Dynavax. As I look at Dynavax, Dynavax is in line for big revenue stream from COVID-19's potential approval. That's why this stock is moving. It's not one of the main stocks that are out there already, but this is news that could definitely push the stock higher. It's been on my radar for the last few days because this stock has been rocking and rolling. And then you'll always find that the stock will pull back, blah, 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 blah. But this is news. This is good news. This was done 3 days ago. Potential approval. Collaborative efforts with SCB 2019 appears better tolerated than the approved COVID vaccines. That's a big statement to make. in regards to the vaccine that they're working on. All right, so keep that on your watch list. Next one is Novavax. Now, as I look at Novavax, positioned for further rally. As we look at it, the COVID-19 vaccine, Pfizer and Moderna, these companies have benefited from early mover advantage. However, the vaccination drive is far from over. I think that the space is starting to get crowded with so many drugs trying to vie to get approved as a vaccine, even if it's for emergency use authorization. According to the global vaccine, 80% of the population in high and upper middle income countries have received at least one dose of the vaccine. That number is abysmal for low to lower middle income countries. Only 20% of those populations have received at least one dose. I've also seen stories where Pfizer and Moderna are making enough of the vaccine to send out of country to affect these people who are lower in the range of making money. Novavax stock has already trended higher 80% year over year in 2021. With vaccines delivery around the corner, further stock upside seems likely. This person is bullish on Novavax with the company at a growth inflection point. All right, so those are my stories on COVID, and everybody and their mother is pushing to get their drug out there. But the only two approved drugs right now are Pfizer along with BioNTech. Together they worked for their drug. Moderna is out there. Johnson & Johnson was the third drug for emergency use authorization, but they had issues with blood clots. I did a story on them last month saying that their third shot, or their second shot, actually, their second shot would be the booster shot, and it's very effective. All right, so with that, let's go take a look at the stocks that I have in my list specifically for COVID. Notice that two of them in my list sorted by VST are at the top of the list. So not only are these stocks in the news, Moderna wasn't a news story, but I always have it as part of my COVID stocks. But from the standpoint of the probability of the stock making money is up there. The safety, they're moving up. They're either buy or hold. What else do I have in here? Novavax, BioNTech, and I've got one more, don't I? Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pfizer, Moderna. What am I missing? Oh, there it is, Pfizer. Pfizer was the one. Here's the 5 stocks that I have in the space. Let's go look at their graphs. Notice that a couple of them are sells, Novavax and BioNTech, interesting, whereas Pfizer is a hold. Let's go take a look. Now, I'm going to think that a lot of the stocks that are moving down in this space, I still think that it's a crowded space. And a lot of argument was going over whether or not we needed a booster or not. I'm going to put this on my graph layout for swing trading. A little bit longer term. So I'm going to be looking at a 20-day exponential moving average on a 3-month graph. I'm going to take off sales and sales growth. What's the engine that drives the stock's price higher? Earnings. Here's earnings growth. Stock currently above the 20-day exponential moving average. I'd like to see it take out that most recent high of 2096, but definitely moving higher. Pulled back a little bit, resurge, nicely moving up. Moderna has always been my stock of choice in this space. All right, a little bit of consolidation going on right now, currently below the 20-day exponential moving average, but look at the earnings per share and earnings growth. That weighs very heavily on me when I look at stock's ability to move higher. It is the engine that drives the stock's price higher. I still think that this stock has a $500 price target. We'll see what happens. If I'm in it right now, I probably want to wait, maybe pull out of it. Did I have a good opportunity to make money here? Absolutely. Was that a good opportunity to get out on the 20-day exponential moving average? Absolutely. And now we wait for a better buying opportunity with the stock breaking above this level of now resistance of 410.34 and breaking above the 20-day exponential moving average. Let's look at Novavax. In the news most recently, watch the earnings growth rate on this. So I'm looking at the news on the stock, but now in analysis and analyzing the stock, right now I'm going to tell you to wait on it. The stock is currently below the 20-day exponential moving average and currently below a level of support at 222.27. Nice up day today. This is today's data. I'd really like the stock to show me that it's created a level of support Another level of support, which right now is sitting at 198.99. If it can bounce above this and start moving up, I'd like to see the stock take out these two levels of resistance and break above that level of the 20-day exponential moving average. But this catches my attention. The earnings growth rate is falling as earnings is rising. Just be careful with that. Let's go look at the next stock, BioNTech, currently below the 20-day exponential moving average. Let's go see if today's candle might have formed a floor for it, sitting at about 268.48. I'd like to see this stock again. Notice where the 20-day exponential moving average is, right along with that level of resistance. When that happens, the stock's going to have good upside. I've got a price target on this of $465, and the last stock is Pfizer. Pfizer currently, and this is the stock that drives me insane because this is the stock that's got the FDA approval, but look at that. Sitting in the consolidation right now, I don't have a full-blown solid answer as to why the stock is not moving. Look at the earnings per share. Look at the earnings growth rate, the engine that drives the stock's price higher. I still look at sky's the limit is on this, but right now it's tough to be in. And a good opportunity to have gotten out of it is when the stock's price fell below the 20-day exponential moving average. All right, let's go see what's going on Facebook. Anybody on YouTube got any questions in regards to my Covet stocks? Anybody? And I'm still putting that out to the people who are on Facebook as well. Do you guys have any questions on my Covet stocks? With so many things in the news, Pfizer should be on the uptrend, but it's way below the 40 and touching the 10. Michael, again, I'm with you on that. Pfizer should be a stock that should be rocking and rolling. I still don't have a definitive answer as to why. As the world gets the vaccine out, at what point do you think that Covet stocks start going down? Are Covet stocks are getting to a top? You know, I don't think that yet. I think that the Delta variant is still huge enough on the radar that these stocks will still have some upside. That's my personal opinion. I don't think it's gotten to a top yet. I think people are getting the vaccine. I still think that there's a lot of people out there without the vaccine. I still think that there's a viability in these stocks that they have not hit the top yet. Any thoughts on AMC? I'll talk about that. I might have to make a video on AMC next week. All right, any other questions? Let me check what's going on Facebook. I'm getting the majority of my interaction here on YouTube. So I'm out there. I'm trying to get you Facebook guys involved in what's going on as well. All right, let me close out of that graph. Let's get into our next story. Here's my next story. So the next story I'm going to talk about is crypto. Crypto is wild in the market right now because China shut it down. China shut down crypto in China. And so the world is trying to get out of China crypto. So my first story is cryptocurrencies exchanges. All right, hold on. Yeah. Scramble to drop Chinese users after Beijing's ban. You know, China is doing so many things, in my opinion, to hurt themselves, but they don't care. You know, it's all about them. And, you know, that's what a communist country or regime will do. It's all about them. It's all about the collective. But, man, with the hotnosity, is that a good word? With the hotnosity of crypto, you would think that they would, but they say nope, they don't want it, and it got banned. That's my first story. Cryptocurrency exchanges curb trading from China after Beijing's warning. Huobo Global said it stopped allowing new customers in mainland China to register accounts. So that's going to be big for crypto, but there's other things that are going on. How about this? So, you know, think about this. The bit miners are using up a lot of energy. That's a downside to crypto mining, is that they use a lot of energy. They use a lot of energy for their rigs, like Mara, Riot, Hut. In those rigs, they use a lot of energy to mine crypto. So this is something that's going on. Another Bitcoin company just bought a power plant for crypto mining. How many of you knew that was going on? This is a tidbit of information that's important in helping you to understand whether or not crypto is the place to be. So I think that crypto is slowly but surely getting more embedded into our society. All right. We look at the big meme stocks with GME, which Patrick did a great video on last night. If you haven't already seen that on the YouTube channel, I invite you to go do that. AMC, both starting to get into the crypto space. People are taking, from AMC's perspective, when you go to the movie, you can pay in crypto. I've done stories where several cities are investing in crypto. It's a movement. Remember when crypto was something that you laughed at a while ago? Now it's sitting at the big boy table. All right. So with that, Bitcoin companies are buying into power plants to generate the energy for the machines, which I think is great. Why does the market pay attention to what happens in communist country? Raphael, that's a good question. They're a big part of the economy, of the global economy. That's why. And because we are in a global economy, everybody's got their hands in everybody else's pockets. So that's why we pay attention to what goes on in communist countries like Russia or China or everybody else. That's why. So it's a global economy, and I think we've set it up that way so that nobody can just screw somebody else over. Everybody's got their hands in everybody's pocket. Does that make sense, Raphael? Hopefully it does. All right, let's go see what's still going on Facebook. Come on, folks. You guys got to wake up over there. You guys got to wake up over there. I want to hear your comments too. All right, so when I look at that, when we look at crypto, those are my stories on crypto. Let's go over back to the software, and let's go look at the crypto companies. Do you follow $VEV tech stocks? I'd have to look to see. We track about 9,000 stocks. I don't know if they are in our software or not. Tommy says, hey, Glenn, I just joined. Are there any news on the government shutdown? And knowing me, any news on AMC as well? Laugh out loud. Thanks for all your work. I haven't heard anything come across the wire in regards to the shutdown just yet. But again, if you follow me on social media, as soon as I got some news, I will be putting it out on a tweet. All right, whether you follow the VectorVest Twitter account, which I have my stories go over to there as well as my own. So once I've got some new information on it, I'll keep that out there for you. Sangi says, what's new to the market right now? We're going to get to it. All of the stories that I'm talking about is what's new to the market right now. All right, let's go look at my crypto stocks. Hut and Mara in the top 4. I still think that Hut's a great stock. Marathon is a great stock. What else is in here? I've got a lower dollar crypto stock that I want you guys to take a look at called Hive. And what else do I have? Coin. I should have 4 stocks there. 1, 2, 3, 4. There they are. Coinbase. Also in the crypto space. Notice that all 4 of these stocks are moving up today, where the market was mixed. All right, more down than up, but mixed. Crypto's on the move. Crypto is on the move. So I'm going to graph these stocks, but these are my 4 stocks that I've got my eyes on: Hut, Mara, Coin, and Hive. All right. You know, why don't I have Riot? I think Mara is a better play than Riot right now and has been for the last few weeks or so. Can you check out the Steam exchange for us and tell us what you think? I don't know. I don't know what the Steam exchange is, and I don't know if I have access to it. Hey, can somebody from VV Nation answer that question about the Steam exchange? I don't know anything about that. So let me take a look at these graphs. View the stock graph. So if I've got my money in crypto, where am I going to put my money? Is SteamX an exchange with a native coin? I don't know. Salai, if anybody can help Sangay out with the answering that question, because I honestly don't know. All right. Let's go take a look at Hut. Hut was rocking and rolling, pulled back. Now just barely hitting that level of the 20-day exponential moving average. What do I see going on with Hut right now? Consolidation. Look at that level of resistance, level of support. I like that little channel, I like that consolidation. I like the earnings and the earnings growth rate. I love that. but the stock is sitting in a channel. Would like to see it break above that level of resistance of $9.23. I think it's going to have good upside from that point. When I look at Mara, though, Hut looks a little bit better than Mara. Mara is also in a channel. Let me take that line off. Mara's also in a channel, but a bigger channel, but still consolidating nonetheless. I've got a recent level of support on Mara sitting at $30 even. Let's see, and yesterday it got into that zone. Today, a little bit of indecision, stopping right at a level of resistance at 32.18. But I'm watching that it's clearly below the 20-day exponential moving average. But I do like earnings per share, and I do like earnings growth rate on it. Waiting for the stock to show me some chutzpah. All right, Hive, lower dollar stock in this space that I wanted you to keep your eyes on. Just something for the people who don't have a lot of money in the market to keep their eyes on. Currently, I'd like to see it break above that level of the 20-day exponential moving average of $2.87. The stock's got some good upside to about $3.75, which is about a dollar move. But I'd like to see it get out of its own way first. Watch the earnings growth rate on this. The only reason why I bring this up because it is a lower dollar stock in the space. And Coin, we did the IPO live stream on Coin when it happened. Look at the stocks just trending down, but we're looking at it in the space of crypto. I'd rather have my money right now more so in the miners than in Coin right now. All right. So those are my 4 stocks on crypto. Crypto's news is still out there, and China's the biggest mover of them. All right. Any questions on that? Let's go back over to Facebook. I don't know. What is it with the people on Facebook? Do they not like us? They don't like me. Okay, it could be. They just don't like me. All right, that's fine. But I got all my VV Nation on YouTube. And Steam Exchange is an upcoming centralized and decentralized cryptocurrency exchange. It was founded in 2021 and is registered as a corporation in Canada. Thank you, Robert. Thank you for that. So I don't know if I have that. I'd have to look in. And Robert, who in here has VectorVest Canada? If you do, can somebody tell me if we have that? Do we have that in the Canadian database? If we do, it'd be good to wait to see which way the market goes now that the debt ceiling issue is off the table. Is it off the table? Did they make I didn't know. Did they come up with news on that already? Oh, sookie now. Hold on. Let me pull up. I don't see any breaking news on that. Holds a briefing with reporters. So the White House press secretary is holding a meeting. I didn't see anything yet. Senate passes government funding bill and sends it to the House with shutdown deadline hours away. All right, I just got that. Let me bring that over for you. Just got that. So we'll see. The Senate did. The Senate did. Wait a minute. The Senate did. That's not what we were looking for. Hold on. This was done September 30th, today. Congress moved Thursday to prevent a government shutdown before midnight. The Senate first passed the bill and the passing of funding. All right, so there it is. There it is. Whoop, there it is. All right, pretty bullish on SteamX. So, and who in here? Binance is leaving China. Did anybody tell me if SteamX is in the Canadian database? All right, and nobody's told me that yet. All right, let's get into my last story, which happens to be my stocks of interest. All right, my stocks of interest. And I'm going to start off with Beyond Meat. Why? Beyond Meat was a game changer when it first came out, right? Beyond Meat was a game changer when it first came out. But now Beyond and Impossible Foods is a private company, joined the crowded plant-based chicken market. So now a lot of people like the Beyond Meat stuff, and now they get into chicken. That's why it's one of my stocks of interest today. What does XO stand for? It stands for Dietrich. When I look at the little X, that tells me that the stock is optionable. O stands for over-the-counter or NASDAQ. So it's an optionable NASDAQ stock. All right, hopefully that answers your question. And it's audited, it's called FinTrack. I need to look into this SteamX thing because a lot of people, thank you QA, cannot find SteamX in VV Canada database. I appreciate that. I got to look into that. I don't know if it's something that we need to add to the database or not. SteamX is an OSC compliant FinTrack MSB regular. All right, so I'm getting some mixed information here, and I appreciate everybody trying to help a brother out in regards to that. Wow, I just checked SteamX launch 4 days ago, still early. All right, I need to write that down, SteamX. I need to look into that, and I need to look to see if it's something that we need to get into the VV Canada. All right, so my first stock of interest is Beyond Meat. The next one is in the EV space, Lucid. How many of you are following this? Now, Lucid hasn't put out a car yet, but there's an event going on. Stock investors should know about this week's production review. They have an event taking place. They're going to be able to get into the cars, drive the cars. It's called the Air Electric Vehicle. So Lucid has been on the radar because it's in the EV space, but it has yet to produce a car. So with that, how about this? Lucid starts deliveries of electric cars, and get this, with the range exceeding Tesla's in October. Whoa. Tesla's the big boy, right, Joey? Mm-hmm. Tesla's the big boy. Lucid is coming out saying that they can exceed Tesla's range. It's coming out next month in October. So this event that is going on this week, going into this weekend, could be really big news when it comes down to Lucid. This is why it's a stock of interest for me. My next one is also in the EV space, closer to home, Ford. Now, Ford invests $5.6 billion in Memphis regional megasite to create 5.8 thousand new jobs. Any of you live in Memphis? Any of you live in Memphis? GGPI and the next LCID, global. I might have to keep my eye on that. GGPI. Actually, I've got another list of stocks to keep in mind that are on the radar. GGPI. Thank you for that. I'm going to look into that. Thank you, Global. I'm going to look into that. That's a lot of jobs. Anybody in here live in the Memphis area? That's huge. So with that, 1 million all-electric vehicles. Wondering, there it is in Tennessee. Ford is building 3 new EV battery plants. 1 is in Tennessee and 2 are in Kentucky. So the Memphis is 1 and 2 more coming in Kentucky. Ooh, how about everybody's telling me that my audio is breaking up? Sorry about that. Don't know what that's about. Well, we'll work on it. It's in? Yeah. Okay. All right. Hopefully that sounds better. The Lucid car. No, a couple of people did say that. Yeah. The Lucid car is on the Prime Goliath session, season 4. Going to check out Steam Exchange fast, guys. Heard about the big banks in Canada are planning to invest in Steam Exchange. I need to look into that, Sang-Ji. All right, so not only that one plant in Tennessee is going to create 5.8 thousand jobs, I wonder how many jobs the Kentucky one is going to hold. All right, Lucid is an upper luxury car. I'm assuming it's targeting the Bentley realm. Listen, it's an electric car, and that Air, and remember, Lucid's been around for about a year. I think it was a SPAC. It came out about a year ago, and it's been hot and heavy and gone down hot and heavy, just like the EV space. But I think that in the EV space, this news could definitely drive the stock's price higher. Michael said the Lucid, there you go. And Global says, yes, SteamX will replace Binance. We'll see. Again, CCIV is another good company, Global, but in this session right now, I'm only looking at Beyond, Lucid, and Ford. All right, let's go check them out on my list. Beyond, Lucid, look at those. Both of those are towards the bottom of the list, and we'll go take a look at Ford. Ford is just in the lower half of it. All right, let's go take a look at the 3 of these. Let's go see if the news is worth it. As I look at Beyond Meat getting into the chicken space, I don't know if this is a stock that I want. Stock is trending down. This is a 3-month graph trending down from the 630 high. Trending. Maybe this is the news that they were looking to pull the stock out of the doldrums. I don't know if it's there yet. I'd like to see the stock break above the 20-day exponential moving average. I think them getting into the chicken business, that's all I got to say about that. Earnings is falling. Earnings growth is falling. I'm thinking that they needed to know that they needed some kind of a strategy to pull them out of the doldrums, and maybe the whole idea of getting into Beyond Chicken might have been the way to go. All right. Let's go to Lucid. I like Lucid. I like the news on Lucid. I think that it's got an opportunity to be a big splash in this space. I also like CCIV, but I didn't put it into this segment. I'd like to see it break above this level of 28.30. I think the news, a beautiful level right there as well. It is currently above the 20-day exponential moving average. Earnings is rising. All right, so I think Lucid is definitely a stock that you need to keep on the radar. And Ford, I thought that Ford was going to take off after they did their most recent vehicle. It just didn't happen. And currently above the 20-day exponential moving average, pulled back a little bit. But I think that opportunity to build, or commitment to build those 3 factories, is going to definitely pull the stock's price higher. The bill passing is probably what wiped out my 11-day SPX spread, woke up to 200 profit, now down about half of that. So always remember, Ron does a great job of showing you how to maintain those spreads and get better. CCIV was Lucid SPAC. There you go. Thank you. I knew it was a SPAC, but it came under CCIV. Thank you for that, Global. I knew it was a SPAC, but it came under CCIV. Got you. All right. So we saw live on the channel that the bill from the Senate is going through, and that this could avert the debt ceiling shutdown. I think it was just too easy. So I don't think it's done yet. I don't think it's etched in stone. I'm going to tell you is keep your eyes on that, because that could affect the market. And what I am going to do, let's go back before we get into your stocks. Let's go back into the VectorVest, to the market timing graph. I want to see what the market looks like today. Look at that big wick. Remember I was telling you, look at that big wick. A lot of buying pressure coming in on today. And I think if this bill passes, we could be in for a nice little rebound. Remember, we're still in the bull market. Why? Because earnings are still good overall. All right. Let's get into what we get into at the end of every week. All right. You know what I'm talking about, right? All right. So we're going to take a look at your stock. Sharon says, Senate says they came to an agreement to keep government open until December. At least that's a start. And again, I think that is just a tidbit. There's going to be a lot more fighting. There's still going to be a lot more fighting, but that is positive news, Sharon, and could help the market rebound nicely. All right, so we're going to build a watch list of your stock, CTRM, stock near and dear to my heart, WAL, CPG, BA, CTM. How would you play it? I'll take a look at that. Electronic cars suck up energy too. They do, but they create their own energy. DSX, that's what the batteries are for. TGT, IP, ARCB. I've seen that stock hit. Riot, remember, I still think that Mara is a better play than Riot, Mukesh. Great live stream. Keep it up. Loving the vibe. Thank you, Sangji. I appreciate that. IDT. Again, as I put these stocks in, if you found this information useful today, I invite you to hit the like button. Let me know that you like what you saw today and that it is useful to you. SAIA. Shipping as the biggest one. No, that was something else. That's a trucking company, I think. Fang, IDT is up there already. Palantir is up there already. RF, VEV doesn't look like we track it. VEV doesn't look. Clean Spark, CLSK. I'll put that up there. Going once, going twice. XROF. Woo! Another stock. Good stock there, Inner. Let's go see if I got anybody on Facebook got any stocks that they want to take a look at. You guys have been terribly quiet today. All right. Doesn't look like nobody's putting in any stocks. I'll put in one more stock. I don't know if I track it. EEIQ. There it is. All right, so for any stocks that I did not type in today, if you look down below the video, you will see a link for something called a free stock analysis. You can click on that and you can submit any stock that you want analysis on. All right, any stock that you want analysis on. All right, so with that, we got 17 stocks today. The stock, and this is why I put them into a weekly watch list. The stocks that have the best combination of value, safety, and timing will automatically migrate to the top of the list. So whoever put a stock in the list, you can now see where your stock falls with everybody else's stocks. So that's the cool thing about creating this watch list. Who gave me XROF? Woo! It's at the bottom of the list. All right. ARCB, that's at the top of the list. Joey just got me this sound today. I like that. It's like, ah. All right, so we're going to take a look at all of these stocks. Charging station. You know what I like as far as charging stations global? Check out BLNK, Blink. I'm going to put both of those up there. VLTA, I do. There's Volta and BLNK, Blink charging. I put the two of those up there. I'll put the two of them up there. All right, let's go take a look at these stocks. I'm going to graph them all. Now, you know me, I like when you give me a stock, I like to put them on a longer term, 20-day exponential moving average. This is beautiful. Going from the bottom left to the top right, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of what a plane does. I like this stock. Whoever gave me this stock, this is a good stock. Nicely above the 20-day exponential moving average, hitting a new high over the last 3 months on above average volume. Earnings and earnings growth rate both look good. I like that stock. And I cannot lie. And yeah, whatever. All right, let's go to the next stock in the list. Woo! Fang stocks. Diamond is a petroleum stock. Petroleum is rising. I've done stories on oil over the last couple of weeks. Oil is on the rise. I like the break above the 20-day exponential moving average. A little bit of selling pressure today on today's candle. So watch that. Just be careful. If I'm looking at that and I own it, I'm going to give you a line in the sand if you own it, sitting at about $91.93. If the stock's price falls below that, you might want to think about selling that off. Take your profits. Don't let it get away from you. All right. I like that it's moving up. Indecision today, but a lot of selling on the graph. Now, WAL, Western Alliance. It's a bank. Love the earnings growth. I'm seeing some semblances of volatility in the stock. The stock hit a new high today, but a little bit of a spinning top candle. Be careful with it. If you're in it, that's great. I'm going to give you a line in the sand, a quick line in the sand. I'm going to look at the low from yesterday of 106.06. If the stock's price goes below that, take your profit off the table. Consider taking your profit off the table. Oil is demand in the UK. We have petrol storage. Oil is in big demand in the US, but the demand is not keeping up with the supply. We've gone through our oversupply, so the demand hasn't changed, but the prices are going to go up because we don't have as much supply as we once had. All right. Let's move to the next stock. Woo, CPG, a little bit, watch that. I do like the earnings and the earnings growth. I don't like price activity. Currently, the stock's price is above the 20-day exponential moving average, approaching a level of resistance at 476, which is very close to the high of 485. I like the movement, but look at the stock is stalling out right at that level of resistance. Be careful if you own it. If it starts to pull back below or go below this level of 4.25, you probably want to take the profit off the table. I like the rising volume. Many of these bars over the last few days are above the average. I like that. So there's conviction behind the move, but it is stalling out. It is stalling out. Just keep that in mind. Next stock, Saya, truck company. Definitely sitting in a channel. That's all you really need to know. If you're going to trade it, you're going to play the bounces off support, play the retracements off of resistance. If you're in it, though, my line in the sand would be that 235.50. If it falls below that, you don't want to give up any profits that you've made on it. But again, the earnings and the earnings growth rate is great. Let's go to the next stock. Regions. This is another bank. We did see a bank that was on the rise. This bank is not as pretty. It is currently above the 20-day exponential moving average, but pulling down. Watch volume as well. Earnings and earnings growth look great. Now remember, because earnings is the engine, just because it's the engine doesn't always mean it's the right time to be in the stock. If you're in the stock, watch this. I'm going to give you a line in the sand from the previous high right about here. If the stock's price goes below 21.15, you might want to think about taking your profits on the stock. Wait for a better buying opportunity. Affirm, wow. So now Affirm is another good stock with the matchup with the. And I did a story on this with them collaborating with Walmart. Affirm is a stock to definitely keep your eyes on. AFRM, keep that on your radar. And I just did, what did I might have done a Trending Thursday, not Trending Thursday, a video on it. I don't know. I don't remember. All right, DSX. This, I'm learning more about what's going on in the shipping company. Ships are backed up at ports. Ships are backed up at ports. And because of those delays, shipping, the bulk dry index is rising huge. People are paying a lot of money to ship stuff. So that should be good for it. Anything in that industry should be rock and rolling. Diana Shipping is in there. We're going to talk about CTRM in a second. Love that the company is making money and growing their earnings, currently above the 20-day exponential moving average. If you're not in it, though, I'd like to see you take out that high. If you are in it, that was tough to hold through that and now saying, yeah, it's coming back. All right, next, Target. Man, Target is also interesting because as retail getting into the school season, that was great. After the school season opened up, though, Target took a hit. I'm still bullish on retail, especially coming into the Christmas time. Right now, I'm going to tell you it's not a good time to be in Target. It's definitely below a level of support at 241.72. Down day to day. This is not an earnings play. No. Even after earnings, I don't know if they missed it or not, but even after earnings, the stock's price fell. It's still currently below the 20-day. I'm still positive on it, especially knowing that it's cyclical going into the Christmas season. IDT, Telecom, earnings good, earnings growth good, sitting in a channel. Look at the big wick today. A lot of selling pressure came in with the bears pushing it down, but it's sitting definitely in a channel. The high of 47.21 and the low of 39.78. I'd be careful with it. Currently trading below the 20-day exponential moving average and a lot of selling pressure on it today. Let's go to the next stock. You know I've done a lot of videos on CTRM. Right now, look at that level of the 20-day exponential moving average serving as a beautiful level of support coming off of that low. Look at that. Serving as a beautiful level of support coming off of that low. I do own CTRM just for the sake of transparency. This is a stock that I own. Lower dollar stock in this transportation. Look at the earnings. Look at the earnings growth. I've got a lot of trust that this stock should go up, especially if as the world opens up and the shipping gets to be a lot more heavier. But man, all these companies, all these shipping companies are being stopped at ports. IP, I can clearly see that coming off of the high, the stock is trending lower. I'm not feeling this. And it did go above. Let me make that a little darker so that you can see it. It did go above. Did I not make it? It did. There we go. It did go above and came back down. And be careful with IP. It's trending lower. It's trending lower. I like the earnings and the earnings growth, but right now, whatever the news is behind it or the running of the company, whatever it is, it's trending lower. Be very careful with it. It's currently below the 20-day exponential moving average. Riot. Again, Mara looks a lot better than Riot, as I showed before. They're both in the same space as crypto miners, but Mara or Hut are the two better plays right now. Heard a trucking CEO say drivers can make $4,000 for what? Great money for 6 days work, way up from before, and that does get passed on to the client. Yeah, well, you know what that's called, McClintock? McClintock? It's called inflation. That's exactly what it is. It's called inflation. Ships are getting backed up all the way to OC in the West Coast. Yeah, I know. All right. Sharon says, bought LCID after your video came out. Oh, how's it doing for you? I did that as one of my 5 stocks. My stock, what is it? 5 stocks to look at. Mm-hmm. Thank you for that, Sharon. All right, this is what we do. All right, let's go to the next one, Clean Spark. In that, I'm not feeling that either. Look at that from the high. Look at that from the high. Let's connect these highs. Ooh-wee. I'm not feeling that. All right, and again, you may like the stock overall long term. Look at the stock. I'm not feeling it. All right, not until it can break through that downtrend. Not until it can break through that downtrend. Again, earnings and earnings growth are good. Not the right time right now in the stock. Stock's currently below the 20-day. I'm not feeling Clean Spark. All right. Wow. What the flying flip happened with EEIQ? Ran, and then fell. I don't know what the news is on this, but look at the big gap down today. Ooh-wee. Would you bottom fish CLSK? Not unless the market is telling me it's time to bottom fish, Ty. So, first off, is it near a bottom? Well, this is my low for the 3 months. I got to make sure that the market's moving higher before I consider bottom fishing. Does that make sense, Ty? All right, from Clean Spark perspective, I don't want to bottom fish on the graph. I want to bottom fish on the graph and the combination of market timing. Does that make sense, Ty? I want to use the two of those things to ensure that I've got some confirmation of bottom fishing. So not just off of the graph do I want to bottom fish. I got to make sure that the market's moving in my direction to back up or confirm the move. Hopefully that makes sense, Ty. All right, let's go to Boeing. Man, I can just draw for days. Yeah. I'm going to sound like the guy. Hey, we just draw us a trend line going from the high to the low, and we're going to sit back and say, I don't know if I want that stock right now. Shucks, that's not a good stock. How many of y'all thought that was funny? That was funny. It's like the guy that was painting. You didn't like it? Joey didn't like it. How many of y'all like that? How many of y'all like that? I was just drawing for days, and that was a good drawing. You know, I just needed a big afro. I guess I needed a big afro with the paint in my hand. Oh, well. So this is what I hear. Okay. Let's go to the next stock. Nope. It's too late now, Global. Let's go to the next stock. All right. Palantir. As you know, I've done a lot of videos on Palantir. I like Palantir. I like what they have to offer to make life easier for people. Just not the right time to be in Palantir right now. Below the 20-day, below 2 levels of support, still going down. Earnings and earnings growth rate are both in play, but just not the right time. Not the right time. And I think that people one day are going to wake up and go, holy crap, Palantir is a darn good company. So I've got a price target on Palantir of $31. I had a price target further back. It already hit. I got another price target right now at $31. It is an innovative company, and it does get a lot of new contracts. So I still like this stock. It's just a tough stock to hold right now. Love the uptrend right here. That uptrend is now gone. I'd wait for better opportunity to buy into Palantir. All right, wow. So we were looking at the last 2 stocks are charging stations. Blink I like, but maybe I don't like it as much. Let's go to the other one. Man, both of them. You would think that the charging stations, if EVs are moving, that they need charging stations. I need to look at more charging station stocks. Maybe do a video on that as well. All right, so that's it for today. I want to say thank you guys for tuning in today. All you guys that stayed to the end, thank you for that. If you haven't already, hit the like button. Please do that. All my Facebook people who were here today, I tried to get you guys more involved, but you guys didn't want to talk as much. So I don't know why. It is what it is. All right. If you haven't watched Patrick's video last night on our YouTube channel about GameStop, please do. He's got a great way of bringing what's going on with GME to the forefront. You need to pay attention to it. Tomorrow, I will be doing, you guys, at least a couple of you guys said you wanted to see it. I will be doing a video tomorrow on how to find the best growth stocks. So if anybody's interested in that, check out tomorrow's video that comes out at 6 o'clock. All right. So with that, oh, yes. Thank you, Joey. High five. For all of y'all who stayed, guess what? Next Monday, I start a new stream called Midday Monday Market Update. So it's going to start about 12 o'clock on Monday. It's going to be a new stream, just like this Trending Thursday is. I'm going to have a new stream weekly on Mondays. And guess what? If it does well, we may see about doing another one. That's one of the comments that you guys had talked about, that maybe we need to do more streaming. Well, I'm going to now add to my repertoire of streaming next Monday. Tune in for that. If you want to get alert, make sure if you have subscribed to the channel to hit the bell icon. So we're going to be doing a new live stream every Monday. There you go. Global says, woo-wee. All right. And that's going to, that's going to be great. That's going to be great. All right. If you haven't already, hit the like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon. Until the next time, folks, this video is over. Adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Salam, shalom, namaste, yasu. Until next time, folks, see ya.